Oh boy, I'm sorry. Good news, you guys didn't really miss anything though. It's Fnatic.EU versus Team Liquid. This is game number 1. It was supposed to be a best out of 5, but Team Liquid, there was some confusion between us scheduling with them, and they thought it was a best out of 3, so they have to play the defense at 21 CET, so I do apologize to all of those who are tuning in for a best out of 5, but it will only be a best out of 3. That being said, it should be a great one. This is game 1, first pick going the way of Fnatic.EU. In this particular series, they went for the bat right away. And once again, I just wanted to say a huge thanks to everybody who supported us for our Kickstarter over at Indiegogo for the Beyond the Summit studio out in LA. I don't know where the stream got cut off, so I'm just going to say we reached our goal in 1 day, in barely over 24 hours. And I mean, it's not as much as we'd like to take all the credit for that. You guys really deserve it all. Your support, not just for us, but for growing the Dota scene. It's a sight to behold, and I feel it bodes very well for the future of this game. It's not even public yet. It's not even fully released. Well, it's somewhat public, but it's not fully released, and it's a very good thing to see. It's heartwarming for us, and we really appreciate it. We have set new stretch goals. We will be talking about those after this particular series. Anyway, hopefully the stream is working now. Sorry again about that. But anyway, I'm LD. I'm joined here by Luminous and Lumi. The Batrider Darkseer for Fnatic, so a lot of control for them.
A lot of control for individual lanes as well as team fight. Vacuum into walls, no joke. We've seen that a billion times. And the versatility of laning as well as the way of initiation. Single target lockdown from Batrider, we are come to love. Well, some of us come to love and really adore. And of course, AoE control from Darkseer. But Team Liquid is really employing Keeper of Light and Puck, which is a dual combination that we've seen many, many times. Puck Dream Coil on top of 3 of 4, and they are going to be stuck there for whichever AoE hero that you're also combining, whether it's Illuminate or another AoE nuke. But let's not forget Blind, because Blind will actually push everybody to the edge of that Dream Coil. And you do apply a stun once they're outside of that Dream Coil. So it's not one of those cutesy combo that you talk about on paper and don't see executed. Pro teams have been executing it many, many times. You let the Dream Coil sit there for 2-3 seconds. They run around like ants on a hot iron. And then you just, bam, blinding light, and they just all get stunned as well. So it's a very cute combo. It's a very, very potent combo, especially for a team like Team Liquid, who really excels in good team fight.
Yeah, they go for the Puck. We'll almost certainly see Korok playing that. We don't really know what Bulba's hero is yet, but the Clockwork is available. And I wonder if they'll go for it here. That would leave them, well, not with TC's here out of the pool. No, they go for the TC Lifestealer. And I think this is the right choice because you can replace that Clockwork with other heroes as much as Bulba loves it. There are others who can fill a similar role in the pinch. But the Lifestealer is pretty unique, especially with the Gyrocopter being banned out. There just aren't that many tri-lane carries who can really set up those early kills, provide either the damage or the control. So I think this is a smart pick by Team Liquid.
Yep. Picking a Lifestealer into Bane Elemental, no fears given there. But one thing
that's true, and there's a bat.
Yeah, there's also a bat. The Flaming Lasso does go through the Nyx Rage, but I guess with the Team Liquid, they feel confident enough that the 2 supports so far, 2 intelligence-based heroes so far, it's going to give provide enough support for the Lifestealer to keep on right-clicking. One thing that I haven't really talked about too much, as we see a lot of Lifestealer games lately, is that I feel like Lifestealer is a decent semi-carries, but he's not good enough to carry the entire load of the team on his own back. You really want another semi-carry or even a harder carry.
And, well, that's where Korok comes in on his Puck.
Right, I mean, Korok's been doing, I mean, he's getting triple kills all the time, and Puck might not seem like a good semi-carry, but he really can be if you get enough items. But it really is difficult, especially if he's going to be up against something like a Batrider, because Napalm stack on the mid lane is going to be somewhat difficult to combat. But we're taking the second draft in the ban phase as Shadow Demon and Void, as well as Tidehunter being banned out respectively for both teams.
Yeah, something worth noting about Fnatic.EU's draft is normally they do take at least 1 carry in the first stage. Usually the Gyrocopter, the Chaos Knight. Occasionally, I think we see the Lifestealer, but they haven't gone for a carry yet. They've been focused more on the very strong solos, the defensive supports who scale like the Bane. So we're going to see, I imagine, pretty much all... well, actually, Fnatic did Team Liquid the courtesy of banning out the Shadow Demon, which I find rather interesting because this hero matches up really well against the Lifestealer. as well as against any aggressive tri-lane. Plus, I guess they already have Bane, and then they'd be lacking in AoE, so it kind of makes sense in that sense. If you're not going to pick it, you do want to ban it out, but a little surprising they didn't think about it for themselves. So Liquid says, okay, if you're going to ban that, then we don't have to worry about it. They ban out the Void, a hero that's hard to kill when you're going aggressive tri-lane, and also great at punishing tower dives, and then the Undying, who's a very strong tri-lane component. So Fnatic is expecting that aggressive tri-lane, and Team Liquid is trying to prep themselves to having a successful one at this point.
Yeah, also, as good as Shadow Demon is against Lifestealer, it's probably even better against a Bat Rider because that hero in the mid-game is just a one-trick pony in the sense of a Flaming Lasso initiation. And it's so bad to actually blink in and try to, Flaming Lasso somebody and then have that disrupted. So perhaps that's what they're more worried about. And Clockwork is going to get the respect ban. But, I mean, Boba's been playing on fire, like I said previously. And the combination of Keeper Alive, Puck, Dreamcoil, and Clockwork is just way too much disruption in a single team fight, especially when you are lacking in the AoE. Your AoE right now is looking at Vacuum and Firefly, which is laughable AoE in a sense. But yeah, you don't really want a Clockwork, which Team Liquid has definitely practiced quite a bit. So very, very decent ban. And I'm very curious to see whether Team Liquid's going to ban out that Tinker, because Team Liquid likes to 5-man Dota a lot. And Tinker is one of those heroes that Fnatic obviously play very well. We've seen Hani do that beautifully yesterday against Virtus Pro. And against this particular lineup, it is going to be really annoying, but they opt to ban out the Lone Druid instead.
It would also be a strong pick in this game because Lifestealer can dive you, and he's still taking damage from March on the Chains. It does go through Rage. And obviously, with Lifestealer Keep the Light, you want to push the Creep Wave, dive with the Infest, use the Illuminate to do the big damage, and then one follow-up stun or slow or nuke to get the kills. So I hear like Taker can make that difficult. They go for the Leshrac here, the combo support with the Bane, and then they just need the carry for this lane. They could go aggressive tri-lane as well, and if you look at Fnatic's lineup, Darkseer can't necessarily stop the push of the Keeper, but he's also unlikely to die to these two heroes, so what would the third be if Team Liquid did that? I'm wondering if Fnatic is maybe just going to forgo any sort of hard carry and just go for some... Normally they tend to pick up at least one, but I could see them doing something a bit different. Send the Darkseer safe lane, bat mid, and then a tri-lane with Bane Leshrac +1. That's potent, but let's see what Team Liquid responds with Visage. So going to what they know. At this point, a signature hero for Fluff, I'd say, even more so than his Chen as of late. Because all he's playing is this Visage, really, and it's working.
I mean, Chen, everybody plays Chen, right? Back in the days when only Melt played Chen back in the Meet Your Maker days in Dota 1, that was all the hype. But really, Visage is a hero that, or Visage, depending on pronunciation, has been really a forgotten relic of 2010's tri-lane Dota. But it's a very, very powerful hero given the right circumstances. And as a 4-row, you could even get a lot of kills and thus a lot of farm. A quick mech, for example. He might not even play the 4. Keeper Alive generally a good 4 hero because of the Illuminate spam and get a lot of pre-wave. Essentially, we are going to have a very, very powerful tri-lane. Open Wounds to initiate, Grave Shield to initiate, and then follow up with a whole bunch of nukes, whether it's AoE Illuminate or single target Soul Assumption. And if you look at on the other side, who is actually strong enough to tank that? Leshrac can't do it. Bane Elemental can't do it. And I don't know. I feel
maybe the Darkseer, because they don't actually have a stun right now in the tri-lane. They don't have any way to stop him from surging away. At the same time, though, if you get hit by Illuminate and then immediately after that the Visage nukes you, God, why do I always forget the name of that spell? The Soul Assumption hits you. I mean, you'll still lose a crapload of HP. Fnatic goes Sven, their last pick. Good pick versus the Lifestealer. You get the plus armor for your whole team and the move speed to help you run away. And it gives you another stun. So now Fnatic's tri-lane, if they go defensive, does look pretty difficult to get kills. It's mainly the Leshrac who's going to be the hero that's in trouble. Well, let's see. They could offensive tri-lane with this, I feel. And this may come down to sort of those mind games. Which team's trying to dodge the other team's tri-lane?
I feel like Fnatic is in the best interest to actually dodge. If you match Darkseer, like you pointed out, there is no stun in the Radiant tri-lane to actually stop the Darkseer from surging away. Meanwhile, I feel like the Radiant still has a better tri-lane if it's in a tri-lane versus tri-lane matchup. Sure, you have Nightmare that could take a hero away for 4 seconds, but good teammates will actually debuff that Nightmare for an ally. And more importantly, I feel like the two melee hero matchup in that lane, Lifestealer versus Sven, Lifestealer has a Rage, and you could really easily... TC, of course, Quick Fingers, one of the best carries in the world, will be able to dodge that Stormbolt or Stormhammer. And suddenly, if you do dodge that 2-second stun, you're not looking too shabby. So I feel like it really comes down to who has a better initiation.
Right. As
Fnatic has a lot of stuns. Meanwhile, the Radiant has a lot of nukes and slows. So it really comes down to initiation. Meanwhile, Boba is going to be playing Nature's Prophet. We've been seeing a lot of Nature's Prophet lately. And it's all been a laning Nature's Prophet. And I think in this game, it's going to be that again as well. Yeah. It seems like, judging from a Nature's Prophet pick here, Boba's going to be soloing that safe lane. and Team Liquid's going to be offensive track.
Right, but and like you, I mean, this is more reason for Fnatic to dodge the tri lane because Prophet is a hero you can easily dive and kill. Liquid's really going to want to avoid that matchup. They want the Prophet to get a quick level 6 while they're fighting try on try, so then he can show up and just set up kills left, right, and center. And of course, if Puckets are in, that's just the +1. So I think if you're Fnatic, now you have even more reason to dodge it because there's going to be a safe lane here you can easily look to kill, well, a hero that's soloing, depending which way he goes. But we'll quickly introduce the teams. Fly going to be playing that hard supportless Shrek. Fnatic is defending their own jungle. Era playing the Sven. Trixie on the Darkseer. No Tail on the Bane with sentries picked up as well. Is that 2 sets of sentries? No, it's not. My brain's just not working yet. Hani's playing the Bat Rider last but not least.
Yep, back on the Radiant side, we have Liquid TC leading the charge here with Lifestealer. Open wounds already taken. IXMAC gotta be careful about his positioning. Playing the Keeper of Light here, we have Visage being handled by Fluff and stuff, very standard. Korok most likely going mid. He does have that quick magic stick against the Bat Rider matchup on the mid lane on his Puck. And last but not least, Boba will be going bot on the Nature's Prophet. So going back to your kind of laning situation point, I gotta say the Fnatic, they are advantage in whether they want to dodge tri-lane or not, because if they're not dodging a tri-lane, they will have, of course, the jungle along their side. They could do level 1 pulls, they could do the standard pull, and they could obviously even do a high-level camp pull on the left if they want to. And we saw the matchup against Darkseer, against a Nature's Prophet on the long lane, right? It's just not a good matchup for the Prophet. Prophet just dies too easily, but instead we're going to see Trixie going mid with the Darkseer Iron Shell, which he could handle lane fairly well as well. And that magic stick is looking, or at least feeling very silly for Korok because he's expecting Bat, but Bat, it's going to be long lane, which he's completely fine in that lane as well.
And this is the flexibility of Fnatic solos, is Bat can actually do quite well against Prophet. So it comes down to the top lane, and it could be tough for Fnatic. Sure, they have Warcry, they have some good stuns in the sleeps, they have some ways to kind of disengage, but if they ever get caught by that Open Wounds, Illuminate, Soul Assumption, these 2 supports will die, especially the Shrek can be brought down. The Bane at the early levels before his points of Brain Sap can be killed off. And it's going to be a Bat with a double damage rune to start, but Bulba has the Treants, he's got the wave pushing. And this is kind of the safe way to fight against Bat, is to have the bigger creep wave. But once that Bat hits level 2 or 3, if he has the early boots and you don't, you will be in a lot of trouble. And Hani went for an early rune of Basilius. Oh, he was pulled big time. Look at all his freaking regen. Now this lane gets very hard. Bobo is actually complaining to me about the pooling that's been going on lately. He thinks that Ice Frog should maybe reduce it a bit, and whether you agree with that or not, it does make your 1v1 matchups very difficult when you have to deal with this much additional regen on the enemy solo.
Yeah, I mean, pooling is definitely annoying for that one particular hero to play against, but on the flip side, I mean, that goal is coming from somewhere, right? Conversely, the support is, filthy poor. So, I'm not sure if I hate it as much here. We did see Bane Elemental do a level 1 pull, and looks at so much Steve warding going on. Fluff wants to make sure that they could pull that high-level camp to the left, because if you allow the Dire team to pull like this, unharassed and unmolested, you are going to lose out in terms of DXP. TC right now is trying to get farm, but it's only got 3 CS. Meanwhile, Sven's got 4 under his tower. And I feel like Liquid TC and his team got to make something happen quickly on this tri-lane, because they're going to lose out in terms of EXP if they don't.
Yeah, Korok up against the Darkseer mid. The main issue here is rune control, because sure, you have Orb, but it's slow and the lane's always pushed. So Trixie's going to pick up the first rune after the creep spawn. It will be that 2-minute mark, and it's an Invis. And we should see his bottle coming out now. It will be. And honestly, this is a lane where Puck really can't control the runes too well. Liquid can't leave... They can leave the lifesteal alone, but they don't really have the best tiers to go and roam, so it's just checking the rune. Oh, they're going down on Era now. The Illuminate's being channeled. There will be a Soul Assumption. The Illuminate does hit. Now, the Soul Assumption will follow one more auto attack. Liquid gets the first blood, and it all happened, really, because No Tail was going to do the small camp pull. And that's the one downside to doing those pulls. You don't have that Bane there to sleep.
And that's also one of the downside of this matchup, Lifestealer versus Sven. Sven cannot actually turn around and drop that Stormhammer, because as soon as TC sees that animation, he's going to hit that Rage, and that's going to be it. So you can say he's actually skipping Feast just to actually go against that. And once these guys hit level 2, you get access to Chakra Magic, means more spam. You get access into Grave Chill, and of course that Rage I talked about previously, and makes kills a lot more easier. Look at how aggressively these guys are challenging that camp. So the previous advantage of being able to pull is actually used against them right now, as they can't even get that EXP. So right now, Liquid, because they got that first blood, really in control now. Of course, with Lifestealer picking up that boots, Sven's got to be really on the lookout. You might expect that they're going to kill the Leshrac or Bane, but they could just as easily kill the Sven.
The trade could be there, though, because Bulba still doesn't have boots, and even though you might be thinking, oh, he's teleport, you can always Flame Break to cancel that. A Batrider that has boots versus a Prophet that don't, this doesn't, can be a kill. And the treants are nice for zoning him out of the lane, but he can bull rush you with that relatively high strength. He's already got 700 health. Bulba's going to have to be careful, and Hani's going on him right now. The stack's flying out. It's only one napalm stack. He probably won't dive the tower, just zoning him back for the moment. But it gets really hard for Bulba. And let's see what the back can do. Hani is farming very well, up to 17-3, and that early Blink Dagger can turn the tri-lane around. So Liquid, they get a first blood, but I feel they really need to keep the pressure up because they're not going to be able to get too many runes mid with Darkseer there. And Fnatic is holding onto their tower for the moment. In fact, it's at full HP.
Yeah, you can see that Korok is just struggling to keep his HP high. The Xiao is going to be really known back in top lane, though. They're going to go on Fly. Fly taking a bunch of damage here, and TC backs out just before that last hit. Fluff trying to get that soul assumption. He's taking a lot of tower focus. One more hit's going to do it from the tower. Miscommunication here from Team Liquid. Both TC as well as Fluff were just one hit away from their, of course, physical right click or just nuke.
Oh,
and
Bulba's so dead bottom lane. Trixie's got a haster. There's just no way out of here. The Flame Break pushes back. Actually, there's no points of vacuum. Maybe there is. Ooh, that could have cost him. Now there's a point in vacuum. He just hits level 6. Top lane, the fight continues though. IX Mike slept up. The Splitter to follow the Stormbolt. No mana for it for 5 mana, but IX Mike is dead. He is not a Bane. He doesn't have Brain Sap. Kills traded 3-1 now for Fnatic. And the early movement, and they're going to be doing a lot. Also, Bulba can't really TP to defend this tower because if he does, the Darkseer Bat is going to kill him. So they're going to lose this tier 1 bottom very early.
Yeah, Fnatic's really snowballing out of control. A very good time to go against the tri-lanes when they're kind of disrupted, when one person's already dead or trying to respawn or teleport back. That's the time you get that 3 versus 2 advantage, and they really capitalize that, killing X Mike one more time. And those kills are so important to hit Fly up a couple of levels, but more importantly, hit that Bane closer and closer to level 6. You said despite the kills, he's only level 2. He's trying to pull his way up to level 6. He has a Smoke of the Seat ready, but really no mana to gank. That's also one of the big downsides of playing Bane, because that guy just needs so much mana. But meanwhile, Hani's just doing great on the bot lane. Level 6 already, 1,000 gold in the bank after Triangle Boots and a tier 1 tower kill. And once you get the Blink Dagger, what is the Radiant team going to do? They really have very little way to combat against that right now.
And Trixie could be getting that very early mech. No, it looks like he's going to go back for Arcane Boots. And Bulba doesn't know where Trixie is. He's been off the map for a while, so doing the smart thing, he hides in his own jungle and farms, but that means Batrider's getting closer and closer to the Blink. And, you know, where's Korok's ability to sort of punish this? He hasn't been getting too many runes. He's going to go check top, and the rune's actually going to be bottom, so another unfortunate missed opportunity for him. There are 2 soul. Oh, Era's in top lane. Yeah, there's the open wounds. Now the rage giving chase. Soul Scepter to follow. Bulba is here. They could get this tower potentially. Defensive sleep. Can they wake him up? They don't have any spells right now. The Split Earth actually hits on Bulba. One more Soul Deception. Down he goes. The chase on the No-Tail. Edict not really affecting TC too badly. Prophet Ult bounces through. Down No-Tail will go. They want to get this extra kill on Fly, but the open wounds is cooling down. Trixie's arrived. Trixie is here. He doesn't have Surge. He's sprouted up. No vacuum to get his way out. He's got to eat his way out, but he can't. The Illuminate picks him up. So Bulba's TP paying big dividends, and the chase isn't even done yet. Korok's going to join the fight late. He may be able to catch up Fly, almost certainly will. In fact, Bulba's chasing. Fly's got to be suspicious. Bulba, don't tank too much Edict damage. Oh, Bulba going to underestimate the power of that Edict, even only at level 2. Now Korok's in trouble, and if he dies, that would be a huge blunder, or not blunder, but unfortunate occurrence for him, and it looks like he may. The Stormbolt cancels his TP. He's got Phase Shift, but he won't be able to use it. Chain stunned into submission. And Hani is getting closer and closer to that Blink. They weren't even fighting with the Bat, and that's trouble for Liquid because they didn't get the tower. And normally when you gank with the Prophet as the +1, you get the tower there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Prophet generally, when he comes in a gank, it's very a pitiful gank because all he does is right-click. But Bulba was able to get off 2 sprouts, and that meant a lot. Also, we saw the power of Magic Stake as it allowed Sven to survive for a long time, to really even survive long enough or made the fight go long enough for him to actually come back alive and TP back in. Conversely, Fluff and stuff did not have a Magic Stick, and he wasn't able. He was short like 1 or 2 points of mana to actually cast another Soul Assumption, which would have meant another kill. So, Magic Stick proving to be a very important item.
TC's gonna drop here top lane, and that's a big kill. Sven is up to level 7. That means a max Stormbolt and a level 2 Warcry, and this makes the kills much harder to come by for Liquid.
Definitely. And Fluff and Sub, you see that he's trying to hit level 6 back in the mid lane as Korok's trying to get some ganks going on elsewhere, but Batrider successfully dodging him. Look at his gold, 2446. Why hasn't he picked up the Blink Dagger and a Teleport Scroll just yet? If he gets ganked right now, he's going to kick himself.
Are we going to see those boots of travel? Hani's going. Oh, it's nighttime, so Bulba did not see him. Hani's on the chase. The sticky napalm beat stack. Bulba's suspicious now. The Flame Break is going to actually miss, but they still have a vacuum. He could look to TP out after this, but there is a lasso. He'll get lassoed. Back into the Firefly. Down Bulba's going to drop, and there's no trade at all. Just really a puck farming mid, but Korok is very far away from a blink of his own. And you got to say, this is big, big trouble for Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, looking how that gank developed, you know that Team Liquid's in trouble. Generally, Team Liquid is one of the best teams in the world for counter gank TPs. No TP off a, 6-7 second chase. You know that Fnatic or Team Liquid can't even leave that top lane because they cannot leave Sven farming. So it just shows you that Team Liquid's complete stretch. Bane Elemental ult drops on the top lane here. They want to focus down on TC. Stormhammer is going to seal the deal. Fluff is going to fight this, but no, that Wrath of Nature as well as Illuminate doing a big ton of damage. Not enough though. Another 2 kills go towards Fnatic. IX Mike's on the run, but Era's closing in. Era does not have mana. He gets Surge, but still no mana for that Stormhammer. Big Illuminate comes in. Not going to be enough to hit down anything. Boba just TPs in, and suddenly Era has that mana, and that's going to be killed. Dreamcoil comes in late as well. He wants Trixie. Trixie's dead. He wants No Tail as well. Big Illuminate. The third Illuminate. The third one's the charm for IX Mike. And it looks like they did clean it up, but they lost TC.
Where was Hani in that fight? Hit the Blink Dagger at base, earn on his hero. God, if that bat was there, even with that nice Dream Coil and the Illuminate, it would have not have turned out that way. So I guess the courier was in use, or he bought it at base and then realized that he could have bought it at the side shop. That is really unfortunate for him. Bat with a blink and that kind of that was like a 30-second engagement, Lumi. That would have been a disaster for Liquid, but instead turns out to be quite a decent fight, and we may yet see that carry Puck, because right now, he's really the only hero on his team having a good time.
Yeah, he's the only hero on his team that can have a good time. That's kind of the big issue here. Batrider is having that Blink Dagger, and I do believe Team Liquid, they should know he has a Blink, but they're not backing off just yet. They want TC. No! He misclicked on a tree, and now TC's going to work. He opens wounds on Hani. You gotta get that kill, and they're gonna try to. Yes, they do. Where's the Sven? Sven does pop that war cry. He goes on TC, who doesn't have the rage right now. Grave on Era. There's this Nightmare on. Oh no, TC just getting that big sword stuck in him. You can see that Fluff's on the run, but how can you run from this big Sven? 3 hits, Fluff is almost dead, and yes, he is already dead. Trixie's on the run as well. Korok gets. Oh, look at the Sven. He just non-stop right-clicking. Boba trying to run his Cell Sprouts. Will be trying to TP out. No Tail. Korok, nice dodge, not gonna be enough. Boba is the only person that survived. IX might also survive as well. Again, that team fight could have went a lot more worse if the Batrider did get that lasso off. Also, before I hand the mic back to you, you see that Sage's Mask on Hani? I think that's gonna be the early makings of an Orchid. It's just a Sage's Mask, and that builds into like 25 different items.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting an Orchid.
Yeah, it could build into a bunch of different items. Well, actually, he disassembled his Rated Basilius, so it may just be him holding on to it for the moment.
He also has a urn, so I mean...
Yeah, that's actually very true. So yeah, it could be an Orchid, and we see it's great against Lifestealer. Nice blink away. Open Wounds does not do damage, so you are able to blink even while you're open wounded. I gotta say, I feel like Liquid, or rather Fnatic, is just... These fights should have been going better for them. Just needed to expect these dives, have a little bit better communication, TP up on the bat. That's gotta be the most important priority. There's nothing more important than that. Not even wards. Is making sure your Batrider has his blink and his TP the second they're available. You mentioned he had 2,400 gold, and then like 2 minutes later he still didn't have a top lane. They're going in. Era is gonna get a kill there with the God Strength. But for me, that's a mistake, whether it's the Batrider or the team using the courier. It's a team decision. Era, oh, mid lane, they're gonna kill off Hani, even with the blink. Just getting caught out of position there and picked off. So a big kill going Liquid's way.
Yeah, I feel like Hani, despite getting that blink, he actually hasn't done a single thing for his team yet. All he did was drop a Firefly in that top team fight because he lassoed a Treant. So Hani's performance so far has not been too impressive. No Tail hasted. He's going to go right on TC. Fiend's Grip. Just that range is so impressive. TC is going to be dead, but will Trixie die alongside? Yes, he will. The Familiars as well as Soul Assumption getting that job done. Fluff and stuff like I previously talked about during the draft stage. Playing that semi-carry, well, a force support that could do so much damage. And he didn't even have the best start. Look, he scored 3, 4, and 5, but with Arcane Boots up as well as a Magic Stick, he's going to provide a lot more damage. Oh, looks like they're going to go on the Arrow. This Familiar is going to get in position for a stun, just barely outside of that range. My God, Fluff just knows his hero. Era, despite the stun, is going to pop a Drum Charge, and that's going to get him back. Meanwhile, the Fluff gets Nightmared, and this could be bad news for him.
Oh, he's got a Soul Assumption. Can he get it off in time? He gets Split Earth. He's still got that Soul Assumption. He's going to unleash it. Virus living, but the Hawks are the Familiars are chasing. One more auto attack would bring Era down, but they're not embracing the creep. Jackson! I didn't know that creeps reacted to Familiars, but apparently they do. That shockwave, man. Oh boy. Well, that's unfortunate. He was trying to chase that Sven, and this is one of the benefits of Sven is very, very difficult to kill. Very tanky compared to other carries.
Yeah, both strength carries in this game are just getting neutered all day, right? Lifesteal has been dying because he's eating Flaming Lasso and Fiend's Grip because all those heroes are picked against him, and similarly, all the nukes are dropped against Sven. So it feels like both teams are correctly targeting the carries, but I feel like just if you remove the carries aside, Fnatic's got way better of a lineup with just way more AoE control.
Oh, Korok is bottom. He's infested with the lifesteal inside of him, and there's a dire ward here, so they saw it. TC's gonna pop out a little bit prematurely. I feel the Dream Coil is used just on one. Now the Orb flies in, but Hani may drop. Where's that Stormbolt waiting for Rage to cooldown? They want to go on TC. You don't want to have that Stormbolt disjointed by Phase Shift, but it is on cooldown right now. The Chain Stun. Look at that angry Sven. Brings him down really easily. And the Sven is actually quite a bit richer than the Lifestealer. Sitting on about a 1k gold lead there, and that's with the tier 1 being down top, and the tier 1 down bottom, so they're even when it comes to towers. And Sven, just 1 or 2 auto attacks, doesn't care about Rage.
Yeah, and even if you take the carries out of the equation, Dyers just have better team fight with the Vacuum as well as the Bat Rider. So it's going to be difficult for Liquid to come back. But Liquid's one of those teams that, I mean, yesterday in Game 3 against No Tide, they were down so much early game, but they just won one team fight after another. This is where Team Liquid really excels, is having good team fights. So it won't surprise me at all if Team Liquid comes back. And that's not me fanboyism, Team Liquid. They are just a powerful team. So we'll see if Korok could lead his team in winning team fight, but I think he's in a little bit of trouble in this bot lane.
Yeah, let's see if Olba can also pull a, who was it yesterday? No Tail of his own, I think. Was it No Tail of the Prophet? I believe it was.
Korok just picked up that blink, and he should be fine. And he could easily phase and blink out. You see, Korok doesn't even actually care. He's just playing with these guys. But blink. Yep, he does. And I mean, this is what Puck does with the blink dagger.
If you just queue up that blink, it's almost impossible to actually catch the puck. If you try to Stormbolt, it's a projectile stun, very easy to dodge. The one thing that they can really use to kill him is something like a Fiend's Grip, or that Sleep into Split Earth, but that's a little bit more dangerous because it gives time for the backup to arrive. The big thing is really just going to be the Fiend's Grip. And that being said, Fnatic, not only do they have the better teamfight heroes, they've got the items. The mech is out already on the Darks here, the Gem is out on No Tail. Bat Rider with a Blink, I guess, kind of equal to the Puck with a Blink. Maybe you give a slight edge to the Puck there. But they also have that dire advantage, and we could see them go for Roche with Sven. You can do it quite early. You're tanky, and you do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I feel like with the mech finish, I'm not sure why the Dire team isn't going for something big, like Roshan or like a tower, like you said. They are just ganking, and I think this is a blasphemous act. They should be pushing. Oh, there you go. There's a smoke. All right, Fnatic looking to set up something, but Sven is not there. Sven has already used his ultimate, so they're going to go for yet more ganks. The thing is, these ganks don't really matter too much. Sure, the Radiant might lose a hero or two, but they're protecting their towers, and that's way more important. TC, though, perhaps in a little bit of trouble. A couple of teleport comes in, and Fnatic's waiting on the wings with that smoke. They back off. They know, they sense something's up. And there you go. More time wasted with the double blink daggers and a mech on Trixie.
Oh, Invis Trixie, but there's a sentry here. A little bit cocky by him. He's got the mech. Won't even get it off in time. Probably wouldn't have helped him at all. Can he buy back? He cannot, which means this tier 1 pretty much out of the equation as far as defending it goes. And the Treants are going to come in. Really, Fnatic should forfeit this and start split pushing. Darkseer's dead for 30 seconds. It's going to be a while before you can come back and fight.
Yep, I completely agree. When you can't defend without your mech, you should be split pushing, but instead they gumped up on the mid lane, waiting for that tier 2 push to come, but I don't think Liquid will do it. Also want to point out that Team Liquid did not see that Invis rune being picked up. They just saw the small HP loss and immediately figured out it was Invis Darkseer with Iron Shell, so Q Iron Shell Invis, that works in pubs, but I don't think it will work against Fluff, who always has Sentry, and it looks like they're going to bait Korok here. 4 people standing in the mid, and entire team smoked up. And let's see if Fnatic's going to fall for this one.
I wonder what this Puck is doing with literally the entire enemy team off the map. He's way past the river, and that's up against dangerous heroes like Bane, who can just instantly start off the chain of stuns that will kill you. Fnatic, they purchased 2 smokes of their own. I just saw Bane pick up another. We may see them go for their smoke gank. And, well, we'll see if those 2 teams run into each other. 2 smokes crossing in the night. Very hard to see what's going on for both teams. And, nope, they're not going to. So this smoke by Liquid wasted. And Fnatic is farming during this time. They're farming their own jungle in multiple locations. Bats pushing mid. And the BKB for Sven is coming. And Lumi, they don't have a single way to deal with BKB. On the flip side, Fnatic has plenty of ways to deal with the Lifestealer's Rage.
Yeah, the best. I mean, if your best way to deal with a BKC Sven is a ground target Sprout, you're not really in a good shape.
I didn't think of that. That's true. There is one way. That's not a good way.
Right. I guess the only way if TC gets really farm and picks up an Abyssal somewhere, but I mean that's really far off. You can see that he's trying to get a armlet right now, and that's just not going to be enough. So I wonder what I guess that's what Fnatic's waiting for. They know that they have some sort of inevitability with that BKB Sven, so they're going to just make sure that he gets the farm. And so far, nobody's harassing him, so you know he's gonna get that farm. Hani also getting a lot more farm, and I think that's gonna be a Yule Scepter. No, he's re-upgraded Ring of Besatis up on top and picks up a Staff of Wizardry. Hani's just keeping all of us in suspense of his next item choice. It's gonna be a standard 4-staff, I imagine.
Yeah, I want to point out one of the reasons I feel Liquid is not really punishing this is the early gem pickup on Fnatic. They're playing mostly in the dark. There's observer wards for Fnatic everywhere, and Sven's not an easy hero to gank either. So because of that, they're just on the back foot. I would like to see them at least farming their own jungle more, trying to get some wards up, maybe buy a gem of your own, because you have a support in the Keep of Light who can farm a gem, and IXMike has just picked it up. But at this point, Fnatic's already gotten a decent chunk of time to farm. Sure, they got the 1 kill mid and got the tier 1, but that's not really enough for Liquid because of the way this game developed. The Lifestealer's supposed to really outfarm this Sven. They're supposed to get that tower a lot sooner than they did. And you also pick that Prophet for the safe lane to just go and gank, be that +1 force that not only gets kills, but gets a lot of towers. They got the 1 eventually, but it came much later. And the Blink on Korok, we just haven't seen it quite do as much as they'd like. And again, it all comes back to Vision. Vision is really the most crucial thing in a game like this.
Yep, and if you look at the mini-map real fast, one team has a lot of vision, the other team does not. So right now, IXMike's trying to defend with his ultimate up top. There was a smoke between the Bane Elemental and Era, the Sven, but there was nothing really done, and that speaks to the split pushing power of that global Wrath of Nature. I mean, you want to gump up and pressure up top, but we'll just pressure every single lane, and that will force Fnatic to give up that push, and Era's going to be farming mid again. He's very close to that Mithril Hammer. We'll have it after this creep wave, and that's 1300 to that BKB. Again, you're looking at Blink Dagger Bat that was picked up before any other hero. You're looking at Mech, but Fnatic is actually down a hero, or down a tower, excuse me, and they're not claiming that Roshan. That's rightfully theirs because they had their Mech a lot earlier.
The clock is ticking. And yep. Boba does have an ultimate orb, so that Hex could be the one real way to deal with... here they go again with the Puck Bomb, and now he's got a Blink, so this could be more effective. Korok's going for an Orchid, but that's not really going to help them at all against a lot of these heroes. It could be useful against some, but it's not going to help them against the carry. That's the one main thing, is when we've seen Korok go for the Orchid in the past, it could shut down the enemy carry. Mainly, I think we've seen him get it versus Lifestealer. This will shut down some of their supports. It could mess up the Darkseer a lot, but it's not going to prevent the Sven from going to work once he has that BKB.
Yeah, it just gives you a lot more utility for the team. Let's not forget about the damage amplification. If you just pop it before all the nukes, I mean, it is a decent-sized nuke, but I think really having the instant disable against a Darkseer or maybe canceling that Bane ultimate, it's just a good item overall. It will make him a true glass cannon, so his phase shift as well as Blink has to be on point because he's sitting at 872 HP right now, and I don't think he's going to get too much HP with that build. So right now, Fnatic is looking to get some objective done, and Hani's going to get that Flying Vision. He could blink it right now for IXMike. Nothing just yet, and looks like I think IXMike just recalled his teammate in, and that should be Boba, yes.
Yeah, Firefly was used, so this will force Fnatic to play a little more defensively. In they go. Korok Dream Coils too. Not a nice Dream Coil. Where's that follow-up? They need that nuke coming out from Fluff. They'll get Fly to start the fight. He is squishy. Hani with that wasted Firefly, thinking about going and then backing off. This could cost them. A secondary nuke comes out from the Visage, and Hani's in trouble. Surrounded. I've never seen a Batrider with this good of a start just completely shut down. Now No-Tail will drop that Orchid. Or not an Orchid. There's some sort of other silence there coming out. I think it was from the Waiting Rift. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And now they're going to push the tier 1.
IXMike, more rich than he ever has been in his life, picks up 2 gem, drops one of them, leaves them on the courier, and now that's going to be a tier 2. I feel like Fnatic has such a big lead, but they're just not using it properly, and Era's trying to get the tower, but look at the amount of teleportations. He's going to be coming surrounded from all sides. Fluff and stuff, TP's in.
Buy your BKB! Buy your BKB!
Did he buy it?
No. Only bought the Mithril Hammer in time. I think he really want all the Radiant Courier dies, picked off by Trixie in the middle lane. He also gets potentially a TP scroll there. He's dropped his own to pick up the enemy gem. I must have dropped in the middle of that fight. Oh, he's trapped. He's surrounded. Trixie is going to pay for his insolence here. And the gem's on the floor again. He could have dropped it and tried to deny it, but it looks like he wasn't able to.
Well, it did give Sven his BKB after all of that, so...
Double gem now for Liquids. No, he didn't actually pick up the enemy gem. That was their gem that he lost. He was mid trying to backstab the creep wave to stop them from getting the tier 2, which is a smart thing to do, but unfortunately, there's still a tier 1 and a tier 2 up, so it's very easy to kind of pincer him, and that's what we saw there.
Yep. You see that Ix Mike trying to D-ward with the familiars giving high ground, and he, of course, is holding the gem, so he should be fine. Yeah, Ix Mike's getting quite a bit of farm, which is something you come to expect from a Keeper of Light, because he just sit there and blast the creep waves during defense. I wonder what's going to be getting next. I think Force Staff will be a very, very good buy, but he is sitting at a very squishy amount of HP, so we'll see if he's going to be opting for something else.
Yeah, I mean, even something like a Ghost Scepter, because sure, there's a lot of nukes on Fnatic, but in most fights, even if they can nuke you down, that means they're using disables on you that they could use on other heroes, and Sven is wasting precious seconds not auto-attacking you. So Ghost Scepter or Force Staff, of course the Force Staff helps your team as well, so that would be a great pickup, and it is always nice first melee carries. Here comes the Orchid for Korok. If he makes this work, you gotta say, really impressive build, and this item has really experienced the resurgences of late, not just versus Lifestealer, but it's clearly Korok's favorite item. He's been building on every hero, playing all those intelligence carries, Windrunner, OD, and Puck. Is there anything that Korok won't build an Orchid on? The answer is no.
Well, generally you don't build it on Nyx, but he does too.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, it's a very, very powerful point. One thing I want to point out is that if you look at the Go graph, it's been upward swing towards Team Liquid's side. I say Fnatic has about 7 minutes, 5 minutes or so with this new, fresh, minted BKB to do something big. And I mean, like Roshan push down tier 2 towers, tier 3 towers even. If they don't do it now, Sven BKB is a very, very scary thing. But that's when you Prophet hit some big items like a Hex. He's walking to the shop to get it right now. Fnatic has to get some big objective going now, or the late game is not going to be favorable to them.
Yeah, it could easily have been favorable to them if Sven was fat, but Sven has gotten picked off quite a few times, and he hasn't really gotten many stacks to farm. We saw like one big Ancient stack bottom, but that was it. There's been too much action on the map. The big thing for me is we just haven't seen Hani really have any kind of an impact. In fact, he's 2, 4, and 3. He had such a fast blink, but it was delivered late that you go back to that big fight top. It could have been different. Still, they're pressuring Roche, and you've got the familiars actually in this Roche.
Oh, Ix Mike gets caught right now, and he's gonna get murdered very, very quickly. He summons Boba, and Boba says no. He has a freshly purchased Hex, so he doesn't have. Oh, Cell Sprout with a long sword cuts through somehow. TC's gonna try to work, and now the Radiant team's taking a fight. They didn't really want to take down a couple of heroes. Fluff somehow got on the high ground, probably do a vacuum. He's gonna focus on Era. Era taking so much damage. Fluff still very, very tanky thanks to his hood. He's still stuck up there though, nuking out of No Tail. No Tail's dead. Fly's gonna be soon follow. How is Team Liquid winning this team fight? Hani's on the run as well. Buyback comes in from Fly, and that should be the end of the engagement. Sven is healing up, and without Sven, the Dire team won't do anything. I gotta say, despite losing 2 heroes immediately in the outside of the team fight, Team Liquid on the back of Korok just doing a lot of damage.
I believe they just denied one gem, picked the other up, and Hani's looking to go in here. He doesn't have the lasso though. Fluff, they're eating the way out for him slowly but surely. TC is going to Quelling Blade him to safety. He was stuck there for a while. He's also got the hood. In goes Korok, and then back out. Using the familiars by Fluff. Nice. He's really consistent with his micro on these. And it's one of the things you really have to do because Visage, he's very strong in the laning phase just for his nuke with the soul assumption. But later on, if you're not microing your familiars properly, you're feeding a lot of gold to the enemy team, and you're not scouting, he's keeping it up.
That's what we call the familiars in a pub game, money bags, because you just give them like red emblems, like Chinese New Year's. Yep. One thing I do know about Fluff is that he's been playing Visage on pub games.
Here we go.
Game after game after game. Ix Mike gets initiated right now here, and the vacuum is going to hit on 2. Era pops his BKB Stormhammer on 2. TC is welling away the 2-man fights, but it looks like Era's on the run. Fly is trying to run away. He has just bought back. He's getting Surge, but he's still dead. Era BKB is out, and he's eating so bunch of nukes. Korok is chasing away the Sven. I cannot imagine this is happening, and he's going to get the kill as well. Trixie's on the run. There's that Orchid coming in. No more Surge for you, at least not for the next 3 or 4 seconds. Trixie still trying to run away. There's that Surge, but the nukes are just non-stop. Team Liquid wins another engagement.
From downtown, Boba shows up to join the fight, and really the issue in that fight, they lassoed the Keeper of the Light, which last fight was fine because there was no backup in sight. But this fight, they lassoed the Keeper of the Light when everybody's there. Nice armor toggling by TC, but he's able to survive. And because of that, they didn't have the lasso to deal with the Lifestealer. He was just chomping away on the Sven, and Sven was TC was just sitting in the wall, basically, did not care about it. He is a very tanky hero. They also don't have an Orchid or any sort of silence on Fnatic, so he's able to get off Rage, he's able to get off Open Wounds, and pop out of Infest, pop back into it when he needs to. Had they actually saved Lasso for him, which is something we saw a lot of yesterday from Virtus Pro, the fight would have been much more difficult for Liquid.
I completely agree. When you have only two ways to handle against a Lifestealer, one of which is a channeling Fin script, which is completely unreliable against a puck with Orchid as well as Blink. Your Flaming Lasso's gotta be reserved for that Lifestealer, and it has not been. So it's not gonna be too effective. Boba picks up a Crystallis, no buyback necessary, just a full DPS, full utility for the team. And suddenly, again, like what I said earlier about Fnatic, they have about 7 minutes to win a couple of team fights. They have not done any of that. In fact, they've lost 2 team fights in a row. And this game is, in my opinion, slipping further and further away from Fnatic.
Look at Liquid's base. They have 2 gems, and they're not even using either of them. They're just chilling at the base.
They're like trophies.
Yeah. Mount them on the wall. Let's see how many more we can have stuffed in frame before it's all said and done. And still Fnatic wants to go Roche. If they lose another fight here, that's going to be the completed Hex on the puck coming out fairly soon. The Prophet, like you said, has Crystallis. And Prophet does some good physical damage. A Ground Sprout can really screw up this, the Sven in the fights. He doesn't have a Quelling Blade. They only have Vacuum and Firefly to remove it. And because the Batrider's on the opposite side of the fight, oftentimes you can't really count on that. And Fnatic just wasting a lot of time here. It's now their turn to do it. Earlier this game, it was Liquid. Oh, the tides have turned.
Yeah, it really has. And I mean, there is no pressure on Liquid. They now, in my opinion, has better late game. And when you have better late game plus a Prophet on your team, means you can split push a lot more. Sure, the Dire has the quote-unquote Roshan advantage, but they can't even camp the Roche because suddenly Prophet is going to be pressuring up top slowly but surely. And of course, his ultimate's going to pressure every single other lane. And you're going to have to do something magical. You don't even have something like a Keeper of Light, which you could send a TP up top and then recall him back. So the mobility of the Radiant team is just going to far outclass Dire. And here comes that infamous Complexly Smoke Gank. Obviously, Fluff and Stuff, the former leader of Complexly, now is trying to do a big backstab. And I think they might be successful. Here we go. Let's see how... There is a Sentry Ward on the ground, so they do know, but looks like they're going to charge through it either case.
Honey.
And Fnatic not see it at all. Hani gets initiative again, gets hexed, he's done. The next bomb, looks like Korok is gonna get Fiend's Grip. Nice vacuum up on that little cliff, but here comes Casey, somehow made his way down, and there is 2 dead immediately. They want, well, no tails in there, no tails dead, and very nicely there in that Roche pit. Gonna work on that Roche too. Another gems on the ground, so more trophy in the Radiant base.
So many gems in this game. Blake in, there's the silence to be traded back and forth constantly. Trixie's gonna get picked up. The familiar scouted him out, and a secondary TP in. Fnatic calls GG. You gotta look at these lineups and say Fnatic, with the early start they had, should have easily been able to snowball. That bat was so freaking huge. That was like an 8 or 9 minute, maybe 10 minute blink. But just some big mistakes. They took the fight when the bat did not have TP, some miscommunication from the team, and good play from Liquid. As well as Fnatic losing their gem. They had the map control for so long, they didn't really push their advantage. They didn't go even, they never even got the tier 1 mid, which they really should have been able to with the quick mech on the Darkseer, even up against Keeper of the Light, because Liquid was just all over the map this game, and you can kind of bull rush your way in, bypass the Keeper of the Light spam, and even kill him, but they didn't go for it, and the tides turn. Team Liquid takes game 1. The BTS Weekend Cup, this Grand Finals will be a best out of 3 because Liquid has to go. It's no longer a best out of 5. So this is game 2 coming up. The deciding game 3, if needed, will be played after that. And then following that, we're going to have the concluding moments of a fistful of tangos. I believe Lumi is going to cast that with me, and it will be a live cast. It's Fear versus S4, so lots of fun action coming up today. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. I'm LD, he's Luminous, we're David and David. Stay tuned, we have more awesome action coming up. And once again, I just want to say a huge thanks to the community for supporting us in our efforts. We're moving out to LA, we're starting a studio there. Our Kickstarter one day met its goal of $25,000, and it's all thanks to your generosity, the passion of you, the Dota fans and community. So we're setting new goals. Those have actually been released over on Reddit and Team Liquid. We will be talking more about them. I'll have Gods on to the broadcast after this series, before the next, before Fistful of Tangos. But stay tuned. Game 2 is coming up soon.